Good morning. As we light this chalice, we return to the shelter of each other, to arms that hold us in the midst of storms, to voices that remind us of our own, to hearts that accept us for who we are. May we be for each other and the world a source of safety and sending. May we offer each other and the world both comfort and change. May this place of peace lead us to share peace with each other and the world. Let us say now the affirmation of this church. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Good morning again. I am Deborah Maynard Booth. I'm one of the worship associates here at People's Church. Welcome to People's Church. People's is a church that welcomes everyone. Your finances, sexuality, gender, and looks simply don't matter. At People's, we live by and promote 8 principles. We believe that each and every person is important. We believe that all people should be treated fairly and kindly. We believe that we should accept one another and keep on learning together. We believe that each person must be free to search for what is true and right in life. We believe that all persons should have a vote about the things that concern them. We believe in working for a peaceful, fair, and free world. We believe in caring for our planet. Earth is our home, and we share it with all living things. We believe in building the beloved community free of racism and oppression. And all people of goodwill are welcome, and we are happy you have joined us this morning on your journey. I am joined in leading and facilitating worship here today with Judy on our piano. Brian is running tech back there. It says Bill is running sound, but it's not Bill. And our preacher is interim Pastor David Wise, and Randy is our special musician, and Judy is leading the hymns. There you are. Judy is leading the hymns. David has a few announcements for us this morning.
Yes, Chris was a last-minute replacement, and I forgot to change the script before I printed it. We are doing the first Sunday collection this Sunday. Someone forgot it last week. If you gave last week, you do not need to give again. But if you did not give last week and you would like to participate in the first Sunday collection, you're invited to do so today. And that will be explained the recipient during our offering time. Gun amendment signs are available today for the last day. They are out in the hallway out here. Marcia will take the rest of them and distribute them to other folks in the community. The Opportunity Fair is today following worship. Snacks and coffee are available. For those who are joining us online and you are on our mailing list, the different teams and options will be emailed to you on Tuesday. If you join us via one of the online facilities and you do not receive our mailings, it will be available on our website later this week as well. For those of you who are here, you all are invited to go downstairs, learn about the various teams, the work that they do, the needs that they have for folks to help out. and be involved with those teams, you're invited to go down and learn about those. A couple things that are coming up. The chili cook-off is returning along with the Halloween costume contest on October 30th following worship. And also Milo is selling popcorn, and if you are interested in buying some popcorn, visit with either he or Megan for information on that. And this is the weekend before the Indigenous Peoples Day, which is tomorrow. So listen to these words of this land acknowledgement that was written for the property here at People's Church. We recognize and acknowledge today that we worship on the land of Iowa people, who stewarded this land for generations before contact with Europeans. This land was also home to the Ho-Chunk and Oto people. It was taken from them all by deception, coercion, and violence. We also honor the Meskwaki today, the only resident tribe now in Iowa. We honor their commitments to survival, identity, and the protection of our world. If you're joining us from another place and you know the name of the native land you are on, you're invited to share it in the chat or the comments. If you don't know, I encourage you to do a little research in order to discover who inhabited the place you now live in the times before colonization and genocide, and where they are now. Wherever you are, we honor the heritage of the land. We remember that we live on ground that is sacred, ground that was stolen, ground that cries out for justice and responsible stewardship. May our remembering help us find the courage to do all we can to restore wholeness to the earth and to all her peoples. And now let our worship continue with a prelude. Randy?
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam. Lift up the waters around you have grown. Expect that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. For the times, they are a-changin'. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, don't criticize what you can't understand. That your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Get on the new one if you can lend your hand. For the times, they are a-changin'. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow ones now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading. First one now will later be last. For the times, they are a-changin'.
Give us the spirit of the child. Give us the child who lives within, the child who trusts, the child who imagines, the child who sings, the child who receives without reservation, the child who gives without judgment. Give us a child's eyes, that we may receive the beauty and freshness of the day like a sunrise. Give us a child's ears, that we may hear the music of mythical times. Give us a child's heart, that we may be filled with wonder and delight. Give us a child's faith, that we may be cured of our cynicism. Give us the spirit of the child, who is not afraid to need, who is not afraid to love. Let us stand as you are willing and able and join Judy as she sings, "There's a River Flowing in My Soul." Our first reading today is Each Day in America. Today in America, countless parents fleeing violence in their homelands wait to hear if they will find refuge here. Countless families live in the shadow of fear, terrified of deportation. Countless children suffer the trauma of heartless separation from the loving arms of parents. Each one is a child meant for a life of hope, not despair. Source of love, move us to work for change until every child is reunited with their loving parents and finds refuge. Today in America, we feel discouraged by division. We feel disheartened by persistent injustice. Each day in America, children are killed by abuse or neglect, commit suicide, and are killed with a gun. Each one is a child meant for a life of hope, not despair. Source of love, move us to work for change until we don't lose another child so heartbreakingly. Each day in America, children or teens die from accidents, are injured with a gun, or are confirmed as abused and neglected. Each one is a child meant for life of hope, not despair. Source of love, move us to work for change until every child is safe. Each day in America, babies are born into extreme poverty, born without health insurance, or born into poverty. Each one is a child meant for a life of hope, not despair. Source of love, move us to work for change until every child and family has all we feel helpless in the face of enormous problems. Each one of us is meant for a life of hope, not despair. Source of love, fill our hearts anew and unite us, one with the other, so that we may work for change with hope, not despair. It's now a time for all ages. Ryan?
All right, and we've been inviting the children forward. We're just asking them to stay a little bit separated from each other, so if kids want to come forward, you can. Hi, Isla. You gonna come up, Nash? You thinking about it? All right. Do you all remember what we've been talking about in church this month? What have we been talking about, Isla? Do you remember? Courage. Yes, we've been talking about courage. So this morning I want us to use our courage to do an imaginative exercise together. So usually whenever I imagine things, I close my eyes. So if that's helpful for all of you, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes to imagine something. You all too in the front. Yeah, okay, Isla's got her eyes closed. All right. So I want you to imagine it's early in the morning and you're all warm and cozy and asleep. And if you want to, you can make some nice snoring sounds to really get into the experience. I'm going to snore. Shh. All right, that's a good snore. I like that. Now imagine that as you're sleeping, they're all nice and cozy, you suddenly begin to feel cold. A cold breeze blows up against your feet, through your blanket and up your back. And so it's so cold that it makes you shiver. You can shiver and go brrrr. This cold breeze wakes you up. And you wake up teeth chattering. And you put your arms around your body to try and keep yourself warm. And imagine opening your eyes and looking around for where this cold breeze has come from. When you look around, you realize you've been sleeping outside. No wonder you're so cold. You think to yourself, why am I sleeping outside anyways? Shouldn't I be inside in a nice warm bed? Did you know that over 1 million children had to sleep outside at some point last year because their family couldn't afford a house or an apartment to live in? 1 in 3 children live in a household that is overburdened by the cost of housing, which means that over 30% of their parents' income goes to paying to where they live. All right, put your imagination eyes back on if you kind of open them up again. Now you imagine that you get up because you're cold, and you hear your stomach start rumbling and gurgling. Gurgle, gurgle, grumble, rumble, rumble. And you realize that you're hungry, of course. You're so hungry that your belly hurts. It feels hollow and empty inside. Do you know what that feels like? Feel hollow and empty inside, and your stomach's complaining very loudly to you about it. So you go over to one of your parents and say to them, I'm super hungry. Can I have something to eat? And imagine your parents looking at you really sadly in their face, and they say, I'm so sorry, dear one. All we have is 1 package of Pop-Tarts, and we need to share it with the whole family. And so you see your parent go grab a bag of Pop-Tarts, and when they open it, they begin to break it into small pieces, smaller and smaller and smaller, and then they hand you a very small piece. Now imagine yourself eating this Pop-Tart because you're really hungry, but it's not enough. Your stomach is still growling, and it still hurts and feels empty. And you ask yourself, why don't we have any more food? What happened? Did you know that 1 in 7 children in the United States do not get enough to eat for breakfast today? In 2019, over 17 million children were food insecure, which means that their families struggled to afford and access healthy food. All right, one more time imagining. Now imagine that your parents tell you it's time to get ready for school. So you go and grab your backpack and start putting your books and school supplies in it. And you remember that you need some pencils. But they're a bit high up for some reason. You can't quite reach them. So you climb over on a box so you can grab the pencils. But when you get on top of the box, you lose your balance and land on your arm. Ouch! Your parents run over to check on you, and whenever they try to move your arm, it hurts a lot. And you yell, "Ow, ooh, ooh, ooh," every time they touch it and try and move it. Your parents are worried that you might have broken your arm, and you hear them whisper to each other, "What are we going to do?" Did you know that not all parents can afford to take their children to the doctor when they get hurt or sick? It's estimated that over 4 million children in the United States don't have access to healthy health insurance, which means going to the doctor is a really difficult thing for their families. All right, you all can open your eyes now if you've had them closed. Maybe kind of wake yourself up a little bit. Now, what was that like for you? Which one was hardest for you guys to imagine? Isla? The food one was hard for you to imagine? What about you, Nash? Oh, okay. Which one felt most real to you? Yeah, Isla. The school one? Oh, okay. So this Sunday is called Children's Sabbath Sunday. Oh, what's up, Nash? The food one was the real one for you? Yeah, well, you were saying you were hungry earlier, too, I know, so. So this Sunday is called Children's Sabbath Sunday. Have you all heard that before? No? It's a Sunday where churches around the country celebrate the importance of you, children, people like you. And one way that we work to honor all the children is to acknowledge that some children don't have as much to celebrate in their lives. There are some hard things that they're experiencing in our country. So I want you all to do something for me when you go home today. I want you to go with one of your parents and get on a computer or a tablet or phone, and I want you to go to a website called childrensdefense.org. And I think there might be a slide for that. Maybe? Maybe? Nope. Oh, yep, there it is. That's it. That's what it looks like. I want you to go with your parents, and you're going to find some more information about children like you. And I want you to courageously learn about what their lives are like, okay? Can you all try that? I think your parents are out there too, so they can help you do that. All right, thank you guys. You can go back to your parents now, okay? I forgot about the children coming forward and helping with the song. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. Yeah, we taught the children some sign language for the upcoming song.
So if everybody wants to get up, it's going to be 10:22, and if you want to, you can remember that you've got arms too. And at least for the chorus, they're really easy.
I'll do it once.
Open the window, children. Open the window now. Open the window, children. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Mama and Papa are fighting like snakes. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Babies are crying like a heart will break. Open the window, let the
Our second reading this morning is And How Are the Children by Patrick T. O'Neill. Among the most accomplished and fabled tribes of Africa, no tribe was considered to have warriors more fearsome and more intelligent than the mighty Maasai. It is perhaps surprising then to learn that the traditional greeting that passed between Maasai warriors was Kasaren Ngre, one would always say to one another, and it means, and how are the children? It is still the traditional greeting among the Maasai, acknowledging the high values that the Maasai always place on their children's well-being. Even warriors with no children of their own would always give the traditional answer, all the children are well, meaning, of course, that peace and safety prevail, that the priorities of protecting the young, the powerless, are in place. That Maasai society has not forgotten its reason for being, its proper functions and responsibilities. All the children are well means that life is good. It means that the daily struggles for existence do not preclude proper caring for their young. I wonder how it might affect our consciousness if our own children's welfare in our country we took to greeting each other with this daily question, and how are the children? I wonder if we heard that question and passed it along to each other a dozen times a day, if it would begin to make a difference in the reality of how children are thought of or cared about in our own country. I wonder if every adult among us, parent or non-parent alike, felt an equal weight for the daily care and protection of all our children in our community, in our town, in our state, in our country. I wonder if we could truly say, without hesitation, the children are well. Yes, all the children are well. What would it be like if the minister began every worship service by answering the question, and how are the children? If every town leader had to answer the question at the beginning of every meeting, and how are the children? Are they well? Wouldn't it be interesting to hear their answers? What would that really be like?
What if every politician had to answer the question, and how are the children? There's a TV show called Abbott Elementary. I don't know how many of you may have seen it. Karen and I did not watch the first season of it, but it won a lot of awards. So we tried it, and we watched a couple of episodes of it. And one of the premises of the show that really stands out to me, it's an inner city school in Philadelphia, is that they are constantly looking for supplies for the kids. That they don't have the things that they need for activities. They don't have the books that they need for the kids, or the books are old and outdated. As Ryan said, this is what we are using as the children's Sabbath. We've done it a couple of times since I have been here, calling attention to the needs of children. We would like to think that the children have everything that they need. And for kids in this congregation, that probably comes close to being true. But for so many kids in our community, it's not true. It's not the way it is. Sean, who was age 13, was in an after-school program for a few months when his birthday approached. The program sponsors a birthday party for the students. It was Sean's turn. When he was picked up from class that day, he was determined not to go because he thought it would be silly and a waste of time. However, he was convinced to attend. Upon arriving, he had a grimace on his face, and he was mad at the world as he sat at the table. He was invited to help himself to barbecue and all of the fixings. As he went back for seconds, you could see his demeanor changing, and then there was a slight smile on his face. After the food, the cake, and the ice cream were served, they sang happy birthday. He received a gift, a card, and a balloon, all while having a great time. The party ended and Sean was walking out. It looked like he was becoming very withdrawn again. He was asked what was wrong. We thought he was having fun. And he responded with a tear running down his cheek, I had a great time. It's just that this is the first birthday party that I've ever had at age 13. Over 600 children are in foster care in Lynn County. 8.2 of every 1,000 children in Iowa are in foster care, higher than the national average of 5.5. Iowa is 6th in the nation for children in care. Nearly 6,000 children in Iowa lived apart from families or out of home. 14,000 grandparents are raising their grandchildren. A child is abused or neglected every 40 minutes in Iowa. Those are sobering numbers. They're numbers that quite honestly bring tears to your eyes, wonder to your brain, hurt to your heart. Because that shouldn't be happening. This is Iowa, right? Viola Davis, who is an actress, writes, the thing about being hungry is that you don't think about anything else. You don't get at the business of being you. You don't get at the business of being anything. She said that childhood hunger adversely affected her performance in school. You get to school at 8, by 8:15 you're falling asleep. You're listening to people who say, my mom made me breakfast this morning. I didn't want that cereal. And you're thinking, you didn't eat your cereal? You had cereal with milk? Kids are likely to get into disagreements and more physical altercations when they're hungry. The thing about being hungry is you don't think about anything else. You don't get at the business of being you, she said again. She recalls feeling deep, deep shame. How do you tell someone that you're hungry? How do you say to a teacher who's worried about your grades, how you're progressing in class, and you're thinking, can you just give me something to eat? And maybe I can answer that. She attempted to get money from strangers to buy food. On the street, I would go up to people and say, do you have a quarter? Do you have 50 cents? Or people would come up to me, especially older men, might I add, who'd say, you're so cute. I'm going to give you 35 cents if you give me a kiss on the cheek. So I figured out a way to get that. Give them that kiss on the cheek and get that 35 cents. She frequented community resources too. Going to the soup kitchen, Catholic churches, or the lunches they provided at the recreation parks during the summer. That's all kinds of things that you have to rely on, that you have to forage. Friendships where you know parents are going to make 3 meals a day. So you form those friendships. You go over to the house and you wait and hope they invite you to the meal. Programs that sponsor breakfast allow students to eat together and helps take away the stigma that many children feel where they're on free and reduced breakfast and lunch program when everybody is able to eat. Breakfast was always hard, she says, because you had to come before school starts. And they're sitting in the cafeteria having breakfast, which emphasizes the fact that they're not able to eat at home for whatever reason. And it makes the kids feel bad. They get teased and they get bullied. She was bullied as well. Boys in her class would punch her, chase her, and call her racial slurs. But she felt like she was constantly running for her life. The trauma and anxiety that she had in her childhood, she said, still lingers. You don't get out, then what happens? You have to reconcile. I'm not ashamed of it because I know that every single part of it made me who I am. I'm owning my story so people can be less alone. In Lynn County, 11.1% of the population fits in the category of food insecure. Of children 18 and younger, 14.5% are food insecure. And I have to ask the question, Why is that in a state like Iowa that produces as much pork as any other country, or any other state in the country, produces as much beef or close to as much beef, as much corn, soybeans, all of the crops that are grown here, yet 9.4% of people in Lynn County live in poverty. 10.2% of children under the age of 18. For a family of 4, 185% of poverty is at $49,000 a year. For a family of 3, it's $40,000 a year. And in Lynn County, 15.4% of families in this county are below the 185% of poverty threshold. SNAP benefits, we hear all about them and how they're so misused by everybody, according to some. They average $4 per person per day. I invite you to go to the grocery store and buy a day's worth of groceries for $8 and have it come anywhere near nutrition. You can do it, but Little Debbie doesn't count. $4 per person per day. Sure, when the kids are in school and getting lunch and maybe breakfast at school, that's great. But you know, they aren't always at school. School is only 5 days a week. There isn't always summer school available. Kids are being hurt, abused, killed. LGBTQ plus kids are being abused. They're being bullied. And unfortunately, a lot of that bullying is coming from the adults who are supposed to be protecting the children. It is an issue. What can you do? You have to have the courage to stand up and say it's not right. Something needs to be done. What are ways that you can do that? It is election season after all. What do they say about children? More importantly, if they have been in office, what have they done for the children? Or in many cases, what have they done that has hurt the children? I know this is not a light topic by any means, but it is a topic that we need to face. We talk about treating everyone equally. We talk about caring for everyone. Children are part of that everyone. I think we take care of our kids here pretty good. But what about the kids in the community? They are ours as well. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. Will you join me in this prayer for Indigenous Peoples Day? Creator, we look at your world and praise you for the diversity all around us. Thank you for the gift of relationships, our connection with people, animals, and the land. Help us to see differences and diversity as strengths. Help us to listen and understand, to meet one another with wonder and anticipation. Help us to love as you love, without expectation. Reveal to us your way of reconciliation, and guide us into right relationships with all living things. Lead us to understand how Indigenous peoples have been and continue to be profoundly harmed by settler people and institutions. Lead us to repent when we as settlers deny Indigenous peoples respect, dignity, and fullness of life. Help us to listen compassionately, to speak humbly, and to act justly. Help us to seek the peace, justice, and reconciliation you desire among all your children. Thank you for your mercy and grace. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. This is the time for candles. You are invited to come forward to light a candle for something that is on your heart, your mind. You're invited to come by the center aisle and to return by the side aisle. This morning, Deb and I will light candles for all of those children who are in need, and all of those families who are in need, and for all of those people who care for them and love them. You are invited to come.
Interfaith Alliance of Iowa is the recipient of our first Sunday offering. The Interfaith Alliance was founded as an alternative to the religious right. Their mission is to celebrate religious freedom by championing the rights of individuals, by promoting policies that protect both religion and democracy, and by empowering diverse voices to challenge extremism. The Alliance sponsors the highly attended monthly intersectional luncheon discussion in Cedar Rapids and the monthly Crossroad luncheon and discussion in Des Moines. The Alliance was instrumental in organizing the Reckless Gun Amendment Coalition. It also formed and sponsors Faithful Voices for Radical Justice, bringing together religious leaders in addressing racial injustice in the state and their communities. The Alliance employs a full-time lobbyist in Des Moines, addressing legislative issues and informing the public through its weekly newsletters about bills before the state legislature. There are 4 ways to give this morning. If you are in the sanctuary, there are offering plates that will be passed soon. If you are at home, you can mail a check to the church, or you could donate online at peoplesuu.org, or you can use the Vanco mobile app. This morning's offering will be given and received. Thank you.
Okay, our last song is 1042, Rivers of Babylon. So, and I think the words, we lost the words in the last time. The kids were just too darn cute. But I hope we will have our words back up on the screen again. There they are. Yay.
By the
Let us say together the words as we extinguish, oh, whoops, gotta take that off. As we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this chalice flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you.
Having a hard time and lately you don't feel so good. Getting a bad reputation in the neighborhood. It's alright, sometimes that's just what it takes. You're only human, you're gonna make your share of mistakes. Better believe there will be times in your life when you feel just like a stumbling fool. Take it from me, you learn more from your accidents than anything that you could ever learn in school. Don't forget your second wind. Soon you'll get your... It's not easy to be living in this world of pain. Gonna be crashing into stone walls again and again. It's alright though you may feel your heart break. You're only human, you gotta have to deal with heartache. Like a boxer in a title fight, you gotta walk in that ring alone. You're not the first one to make mistakes, but the only things you can truly call your own. Don't forget your second wind. Stay in your corner until that breeze blows in. You can keep to yourself these days, 'cause think that everything's gone wrong. Sometimes I feel you want to lay down and die. That emotion can be so strong. But hold on till that old second wind comes along. Probably don't want to hear advice from someone else. I wouldn't be telling you if I hadn't been there myself. It's alright, sometimes that's just what it takes. You're only human, you're supposed to make mistakes. But I survived all those long, lonely days when it seems I did not have a friend. 'Cause all I needed was a little space so I could catch my breath and face the world once again. Don't forget your second wind. Soon you'll feel that momentum kick in. Forget your second wind. Stay in your corner until that breeze blows in.
Don't forget coffee and snacks downstairs for the Opportunity Fair, where you can talk to members of the various teams, where you can also sign up to help with greeting, to help with snacks and coffee hour without being parts of teams or groups, but just sign-up sheets for those as well as some for faith formation. Go now into the world, caring for the children loving the children and making sure they do or have the very best that they can have. Go in peace.
Thank you for your contribution to our service. Thank you very much.
No, I just wanted to caffeinate before we started.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, no.